Hi, folks. You're with Tacitus today at your Pushback channel, and thank you for joining this live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the rape, or rather the alleged rape. I don't think there's been any conviction yet, as far as I'm aware, of the incident on a Philadelphia train a few days ago. Now, the incident and thus the allegation, as I understand it, is that a black man in his 30s approached a woman in a suburban train. There were other passengers and travellers on the train, and somehow an argument of some sort broke out, and it's alleged that he forcefully removed her clothing and attempted to engage in an unrequested intimate act. So and was rather rough and vigorous in his application. So there were other passengers on the train. They were looking, and they didn't intervene, as I understand it, but some used their camera phones to record the incident, which one assumes would be helpful to prosecutors when the matter comes to court. So now, I guess it's a crime, a violent crime, and there are already many laws in place that can be used to charge and convict someone who's found guilty in a proper court of law of such crimes. And I don't know if any more are going to be needed. There's certainly, again, a lot of laws in the books, and they're more than adequate to deal with the situation, as far as I'm aware. Now, so is this an incident of a black man assaulting a woman on a train? Well, the earlier sort of stories, or maybe not the very first, but certainly after a day, with the stories that came out, a photograph appeared of a black man, and his name was mentioned, but those photographs and any mention of his colour or anything like that, that's already being erased. That's already disappearing down the memory hole. And what the story is now transforming into a women's rights issue. Was it a crime by somebody who clearly is in need of some sort of firm hand guidance? I mean, how many people in the world would walk onto a train and do that? I mean, yeah. So it's hardly a universal issue. And one news station that I was looking at, the woman breathlessly reported, if even one woman is in danger anywhere in the world, wait for this, this has got to be classic. If one woman is in danger anywhere in the world, then all women are in danger all the time. Now that's a patent nonsense of the first magnitude, but nonetheless, so the story's morphed for just being a rando black guy, clearly not unable to work out right from wrong, happens to get on a train and happens to do that. So that's all it is. Someone's committed a crime, and they should be, quite reasonably, in my view, or allegedly committed a crime, so they should be taken to court and punished. At the end of it, that's the end of it. But instead, the whole story is morphing. It's moving into something else. The idea that it's a black guy is being dropped. And if we look at rape statistics and violence statistics, sort of in the United States, then black men are hugely overrepresented. White people, by contrast, are very underrepresented given the percentages of population. So the chances of being rando guy, rando rapes rando woman on a rando train situation, the chances are very, very slim it's going to be a white guy. But already the fact the guy's black's being washed out of the story. The story is now a woman's issue, and then there are various propaganda bits starting to attach themselves to using this as a springboard narrative to bring it in, and all the helplines, women who are being raped or oppressed should. Now it's the whole propaganda, the ideology of feminist propaganda is then screaming into the middle here, and then attaching itself to the coattails of this incident. in trying to make maximum mileage. But every image and every story I've seen that is trying to attach it is always a white guy. It's only white guys doing it. There's no mention of black guys, or the black women from other black men are really are being raped at a far greater rate than even white women are raped at a far greater rate by black men than they are by white men. So it's, if you're going to look anywhere, it's firstly a black, then Hispanic issue, and then an issue from people coming from Islamic countries, and then right down the bottom of the list of the white guys. But you'd think the reverse was the case. You'd think it was only white guys and no one else, and that this black guy in Philadelphia was just some sort of one-off outlier. So now the whole story is morphing into a propaganda thing about women and about oppression of women and about women's rights. And the story, this central thrust of the story is that men have to be controlled by ever more harsh laws and control mechanisms and devices. Their movement, their very ability to access trains should be, if they ever look sideways on a Sunday over the last 10 years, they shouldn't be allowed to use public transport. And so the most absurd things are coming up, that men have to be controlled, but not black men. White men. It's white men have to be controlled. And we know that the biggest opponents in opposition to globalization are white men. So the globalists are thirsting, gagging for any opportunity, any pretext, any excuse, any bullshit trumped up crap reason to control white men. And this is another one that's feeding into that crazy narrative. But are we actually dealing with a story about that it was a black man and the amount of black men that commit rape in the United States? No, we're not talking about that. The target is white guys, and this is now just another convenient device to go and beat up white guys over. I'd like to see your views, though. So this is Tacitus Today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.